Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Take Note and Move Forward podcast show. I am your host, Notes from Wanda, your forgiveness coach and silence breaker. So it's been probably maybe close to a month since the last time I recorded an episode for this podcast. I hope that you guys are doing well, and I hope that you have been taking care of yourself. So to everyone that has been tuning in, sharing your comments, and sharing your reviews with everyone else, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Please continue to share and please continue to tune in. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time, this podcast show is all about forgiveness and healing. I talk about how to cope with flashbacks and painful memories due to rape, domestic violence, and or child molestation. With that being said, let's just do a quick review of the last episode of this podcast. I talked about how abused women end up abusing men. I talked about how some people take their issues and their anger from one situation to the next. They don't allow themselves any time to heal, and they end up using violence as the way to solve almost all of their issues. And domestic violence is wrong. Regardless if it's a man or a woman doing the hitting, it is wrong. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to this podcast episode, please visit my website at notesforwanda.com/EP21. Again, it's notesforwanda.com/EP21. This episode is about walking away from people that no longer deserve your energy or attention. But you have to know when to walk away, because some of us, we tend to ignore all the signs and all of the red flags. We want to make things better. We want to make that particular person better. And sometimes we feel like we really can. But you have to be able to recognize when is it time for you to walk away so that you can preserve your energy for other things that are more important in your life, so that you can preserve your energy for being more of a person for yourself or the next person that may actually deserve you. So I just wanted to review a few things that you should be aware of, just in case you're not fully aware of what may be taking so much energy out of you, what may be causing you to lose focus on what you should be focused on. What you should your first red flag should be when you're feeling paralyzed, as if you feel like you can't move, you can't do anything because that person doesn't move or do anything. There's nothing wrong with staying in the house, but when you get to a point where you hold yourself to being only in the house and not around other people, you're not socializing with other people, you're not interacting with other people because the person that you're with doesn't do any of these things. And it tends to rub up on us. The person that you live with, that you're sharing your life with, their habits, believe it or not, sometimes become your habits. So if that person doesn't like to socialize, doesn't like to be around other people, they isolate themselves, sometimes it makes you feel like you can't interact with other people. You become paralyzed. So that's the first thing. That's one red flag that you should pay attention to and maybe actually ask yourself, is it time for me to move on? The second thing is, if you find yourself always feeling like you can't say anything, every time you get into a conversation with this person, or if there are other people around you and you're having a conversation, but your spouse won't allow you to get one word in. They talk over you. They won't let you get a word in. They won't actually let you participate in a conversation. They take control over the conversation so that you'll back off and you'll just remain silent and you shut up. That's the second red flag. You should not have to stay quiet around anyone or that person that you're supposed to be with. If this is the person you love, this is the person you trust, you should be able to express yourself. You should be able to talk without feeling like, okay, I need to shut up and just listen. It should not be that way. So if you are involved with a person that doesn't allow you to express yourself verbally, won't let you get a word in, regardless of what kind of conversation it is, regardless of if it's an argument or not, regardless if it's just you and that person having a conversation or you're in a group conversation with other couples and he takes over the conversation and won't allow you to get one word in, won't let you get your point across, cuts you off each and every time. This is another red flag. You should not have to remain silent in any relationship. So that's number 2. The third thing you need to look at: are you feeling tired all the time? Are you constantly finding yourself like you're just not in a mood to do anything? You said that you were going to start writing down your goals, your accomplishments. You said that you were going to start paying attention to your savings account. You said that you were going to start writing a book that you wanted to write from almost 2 years ago. But you can't get up the nerve. You can't get enough energy to do any of these things. And it feels like your energy is constantly being drained because of the current situation that you're in. The current relationship that you're in is not bringing you any positive energy. It's actually making you tired. It feels more like a 9 to 5. You're clocking in and clocking out. It doesn't feel like a relationship, a friend that you're talking to. It doesn't feel like a person that you're building a future with. It feels like a job where you're clocking in and clocking out. So you're constantly just feeling like you're out of breath, out of energy. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to move. You don't want to start to work on anything. You don't want to look at your goals. You don't want to look at anything that you could accomplish. You're just completely unmotivated. That's red. That's another red flag. That's number 3. The next thing, if the person that you're with is constantly making you feel small, like you can't accomplish anything without them. You can't move. You can't make any moves without them. You can't, you can't build anything. You can't pay your bills without them. They make you feel like you're not going to survive without me. You're not going to be able to make it without me. And they may not actually say it, but there's a sign that will that will allow you to notice that this person actually thinks that I can't make it without them. And one way to actually identify that is that they're always constantly trying to take control over where the money should go, how it should be spent. In a relationship, it's 100%. 100% from one person, 100% from the second person. Where each person should be able to share their input, share their knowledge about where the money should go for that month, how you guys can save some money, what's more important at that moment in time. So if you're finding yourself in a situation where the person is constantly taking control over where the money should go, even if that person is not the only working person in the house and you're working too, but they're taking control of everything about where the money goes and how it should go, that's a sign of basically they feel like you shouldn't be able to make any moves without them and that you can't make any moves without them. So pay attention to that. That's the fourth thing. The fifth thing that I wanted to talk about is if you are around a person and every time you have family and friends over, this person starts bragging about you and talking about you. This does not mean that your relationship is all good and okay. This does not make up for the fact that this person has been making you feel small. See, the thing is that some people will actually praise you in front of people to make you, not necessarily make you look good, but to make them look good. That they chose you and that you're successful because of them. So if you're involved with a person and they're only bragging about you around friends and family members, this does not mean that this man is all about you. Pay attention to the way that he talks and the things that he say about you around these people. And if it's only around these people, outsiders, where where your spouse is bragging about you and everything that you did, you might want to make a mental note of that, because this does not mean that this person is all about you. This does not mean that they are actually praising you. Sometimes what this means is that they are actually praising themselves. They're saying, you're my pick. I chose you. You're my trophy. This is their way of pushing up the energy within inside them. This is what builds up their ego. Because you are their woman, you're their person, you are the person that they invested in. So them bragging about you is saying, oh, look what I did with her. Oh, look what she's able to do because she's with me. Pay attention to that. Because like I said, if a person is bragging about you in front of friends and family members, that is not always a good sign. So that's the fifth thing. The sixth thing that I wanted to pay to bring to your attention is, if you're not able to go out with your friends and family without this person saying, oh, it's dark outside, you shouldn't go anywhere right now. Oh, have you watched the news lately? There's a lot of things going on out there. Maybe you should stay in. This person is constantly feeling like you can't go anywhere. And you can't be protected without them. And you won't be protected without them. That's a red flag. Don't allow anyone to suck you into believing that the safest place is your home and with them. And it's okay for the man to feel like he has to provide and protect his family, but he should never make a woman feel like you would never be protected without me. Like she's less of a person, that she has no strength, she has no courage to protect herself. A man should never make his woman feel that way. So if you're constantly hearing things from this person like, oh, it's dark outside, don't go anywhere. Oh, you need to make sure I come with you there and back. If they're constantly calling you while you're there with your friends and checking up on you as if something else is going on, that's a red flag. All of these things that I reviewed with you today are signs of someone that is taking too much of your time and too much of your energy. And the reason why I know this is because I have been through this myself. This is based upon experience. This is based upon conversations that I have had time and time again with some of my clients, with family members, and with friends. Be careful of how much time and energy you put into people. Just because they're not going upside your head or cheating on you does not mean that this is the relationship for you. You need to review all the signs and all the red flags. A relationship should not feel like you are clocking in and clocking out at night by the time you go to sleep. It should feel like this is natural. This is where I want to be. This is love. This is comfort. This is my escape from the rest of the world. It won't always be that way because, of course, no relationship is perfect. But you should not feel like you're trapped. You should not feel like you are constantly fighting to be around other people. You should not feel like you are fighting just to accomplish a goal outside of your spouse. If there's a goal that you need to accomplish, if there's anything that you need to do to reach your goals, to become successful, it should not be a fight. If that person truly loves you and cares about you, they will allow you to explore and to make things happen for yourself. They will allow you to see if, this is the right path for you to take to be successful. Because the bottom line is we all are individuals at the end of the day. And regardless of who we are married to, you should be allowed to still be you. You should still be allowed to be an individual. You should still be allowed to be a person. And that's not too much to ask for, even if you are building something with this person, even if you went into the business with your partner, your spouse, your husband. It should not feel like there's a constant battle to be yourself. So please just take a moment to review all of those signs and all of those red flags. And if you're not able to remember, write it down. Rewind this podcast, listen to it again, because I'm telling you, especially now these days with everything that's going on, you need to make every moment count for yourself. You need to value yourself and understand that you are an individual that deserves to be loved and trusted. Your energy should not be pulled completely out of you trying to make this person happy, but you're not happy. If you're spending so much time making one person and making that person happy in the relationship, where's the time for you to be happy? If that person is not happy from the beginning, from the get-go, from within, they'll never be satisfied in the first place. So everything that you're bending over backwards to do is actually a waste of time. Because that person has to be happy for them. That person has to be content with themselves. They have to be ready and willing to be an individual as well as a person in a relationship. It can't just be, this person needs to build me up. This person needs to constantly cater to what I need in order for me to be a person. Shouldn't be that way. It's a selfish form of behavior. And a lot of us are doing things to each other these days to take advantage, to get ahead. And we're not doing things because we love that person. We're doing things for our own selfish needs. We're not being selfless, we're being selfish. So again, just go back and review all of those red flags. I really wanted to get deep into this episode because I'm noticing a lot of people around me, a lot of my clients, they are wasting their time with people who no longer deserve their energy. And they think because the person is not physically hitting them, they think because the person is not cheating on them, that there's still hope. And to be honest with you, sometimes there is no hope. Sometimes the best thing you can do is let them go their way, and you go your way. You need to find a relationship where it's not constantly pulling things and energy out of you. It's actually building you up and making you feel like you got all the energy in the world and making you feel motivated. So that's all for today, guys. Please share your comments and please leave a review. I really appreciate it. For those of you who tuned in or downloaded this episode today. If you're not already doing so, please follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Notes from Wanda. You can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/Tate Note Move Forward. Again, it's facebook.com/Tate Note Move Forward. Thank you so much, guys. Don't forget about the free action guide that I offer each and every time that we have a podcast episode. You can download my free action guide at any time. It teaches you methods and things that you can do to cope with flashbacks and painful memories. You can download that free action guide today at notesfromwanda.com/I'm ready. Again, it's notesfromwanda.com/I'm ready. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. You guys take care. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.